Hey everyone, welcome to Discover Talent. I'm your host Vinod. Today we are going to learn how to create a HR analytics dashboard inside the Excel. It's complete step-by-step session, so don't skip in between. Every part connects. If you stay till the end, you know exactly how to build dashboard inside the Excel. All right, let's get started.
Stop. Before you learn any new tool, answer this. Why do employees leave a company? Type in comments. Number one question can be salary. Second reason could be manager. Third, work pressure. Or maybe the fourth is no growth. Okay, because today we are not building just a dashboard. We are solving a real business life scenario using a data. Welcome to Discover Talent. Now let's do a quick activity. Imagine you are a HR manager at VVW Media. Okay, I give you only this number, which is 16% of attrition rate, right? Now the question remains the same, right? Is this good or bad? Now the second question, where is attrition happening? Sales, HR, or R&D? You don't know, right? That's the problem. Data without breakdown is equal to useless. Today, we build system that answers everything. Okay, now here we can see on the screen, this is just an Excel. Okay, if in case you are a beginner, let me just show you how to open a Excel. Okay, you can do this similar activity inside the Google Sheet as well. Right now we are using a Office 365 Excel. Okay, and then blank workbook. Simply open this Excel. In case you are a beginner, let me give you the overall glance about this Excel spreadsheet. Right, these are the cells where we will update the data. Okay, the combination of both your column and this is the row. Right, this is your cells. Here we usually type a formula over here. Okay, and these are the ribbons where you can use it basis the requirement. Okay, like editing, formatting, you want to do it inside the worksheet. These are the sheets. Okay, sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3. You can add n numbers of sheets over here by clicking on this option plus. These are the page layouts basically. Okay, you can see you can add here header and footer. Okay, you can also go at the bottom if in case you want to add a footer. Cool. So we don't want to get into that. We are good with it. So I'll just simply click exit here and it's a normal view for me. Great. So this is just a basic introduction about the Excel. Okay, I'll close this because I don't really require this blank Excel workbook for me. You see at the top, these are the headers. Okay, what we have employee ID, name, gender, age, department, job role, education field, okay, marital status, and then salary, job satisfaction, and attrition. Okay, these are the fields I have added so far over here. In your case, your fields can be different, whichever domain you are working with, right? Be it if in case in a public safety or maybe any other domain like supply chain. Okay, your data key points could be different, but as a HR standpoint, majority fields you can see it on the screen are more or less same, right? If in case you are stuck somewhere, right, and you want any kind of help from us, feel free to ping on Discover Talent YouTube channel and we are happy to support you there how to create your attrition dashboard. Okay, now what I'm going to do over here is I'll first adjust this. Okay, I'll just go here, data, click on this option text to column, delimited, and then let's add a comma over here and then next and then finish. Okay, now it has been splitted with a different columns over here. You see, these are the columns separation we have just now performed over here. Perfect. So once it is done, we're gonna add a couple of entries over here, right? So I'll just add a border over here and you can see this is how the overall data set look like for us. Whenever we do a text to column, this is very important because every column is equal to one future inside. Okay, now ask yourself, if I remove department, okay, this, if I delete this, okay, you can see this option delete. Okay, can I analyze department attrition? You can answer in the comment section. Let me give you the answer. The answer is no. Okay, that's how you think like a analyst. So now let me just add one entry over here manually. Okay, so I'll say Michael, okay, Johnson. This is just an entry randomly adding over here, and then let's say this is a male. Okay, so this is, I'll just do a control X and this is the paste over here. and employee ID is, suppose this is the employee 1 for me. Okay, let's go here. Age is 34. Department, I will be adding a sales over here, and this is a sales executive. Perfect. Education, suppose you have a education details like this: bachelor, it's a marketing. Okay, and this is a married status, and here we'll add a 60,000 salary. Okay, suppose this is a 60,000 salary. And satisfaction rate, suppose I have added a satisfaction rate wise, right, 1 to 5 scale, so I'll just keep a satisfaction scale is 3 for him, and attrition is yes. Cool. So just now added this kind of an entry over here, which is a manual entry, right? Now the question is, why did the Michael leave? Do we see any kind of a pattern forming, right? Which department looks risky? Who is more stable? Now, instead of typing a each 40 records inside this Excel sheet, I'll give you the full data set in the description. Okay, you can just go there, or maybe you can see on the screen the GitHub link, right? Just go there, download it, and we can work on this parallelly. Okay, if in case you have any kind of an issue while you have opening up that particular file and then add it inside the Excel, okay, you can ask the question real time to us. If in case you have any different question, you can also join our community. You can see the community link like this. Okay, you can directly go there and share your questionnaires if in case apart from this anything else regarding the data analytics. Let's not wait for a dashboard. Even now, we can think, count mentally. Okay, where do you see more? Yes, attrition. Okay, after you adding that data, which age group looks risky? Do sales roles look like unstable, or maybe any specific department? Okay, this is called pre-attentive analysis. Top analysts see patterns before a chart comes in. Now we have a real company called VVW Media, as we have spoke, right? Structured data set, initial observation, and we still cannot answer attrition rate, department comparison, age group trends, okay, and how to clean the data, okay, using a Excel. So you can see this is the data set which we are going to use it. But we still cannot answer attrition rate, department comparison, age group trends, education impact. Why? Because data is still in raw. Next step, we are going to clean, transform, and create a KPIs, okay, for the dashboard. That's where the real analytics begin. Now, what we are going to do, since we are discussing this, okay, so simply copy this first, copy this entire data set, and let's go here in sheet 2, paste it over here. Good. So once you paste that, ensure that whatever it's off entry, you can simply delete that. Whatever you need, just have to simply click that option, and then here we don't really require this blank, delete that. Even this as well, we don't require blank, deleted. Okay, and I'm reviewing the blank, pressing Control and minus from the keyboard. Once you are good with this, simply click here at the top, from here, okay, A2 to until A40. Okay, simply select this, go to a data, and then there is an option called text to column. Click on this option, delimited. Okay, click next, and then there is an option called comma. Just turn that on. Let's say next, and then hit a finish button. Let's say okay. You see, whatever data set you have, right, those are automatically get added in the columns like this. Cool. So now what I'm going to do, I'll just simply select this entirely, go at the bottom, click here home, and then add a all borders. Let's keep it centrally aligned like this. Perfect. And then let me adjust this entire text like this. Cool. So now you see you have the 40 records added over here. Perfect. Change the salary in a different format altogether. You can just add a dollar sign over here and then change the salary range accordingly. Right. So this data type has been changed for the salary. Let's double check over here if in case anything blank rows. Okay, if in case any, we have to simply delete it. Any spelling matches, right? Sales versus sales, right? So here if I say capital S from this, okay, So I have to ensure that this sales is properly shown over here, right? Capital letter sales. Perfect. So it is okay. I have fixed that all around, right? So gender consistency, male, female, okay. So I can see that as well over here, okay. And data consistency is critical. Okay, if in case it's broken like this, if it is deleted, and I can see at the bottom, its consistency really needed. Okay, so you just have to double check if the data is available or not. See, there are no errors as such. However, but in spreadsheet term, okay, or maybe the data term, we have to always fix the data types for the values. Okay, what we have did for the salary. Cool. So here, what I'm going to do, I'll just simply select this and go at the top. Here, I'll say this as a number. Okay, remove this two decimals, which is not really required, right? And then job satisfaction. This again, these are the numbers. So ensure that you will be add as a number. Cool. And is you want to keep this in number, just have to go here and then make sure that you are adding this in number. So it is done. You either create this data set into a table, okay, keep it in table, okay, or maybe if in case you don't want to work with a tables, it's completely fine. You can work on this kind of a raw data sheet as well, okay, but always recommended convert this into a table, because whenever you have any kind of formulas added for your data set, which will automatically get captured for the rest of the other columns, okay, and you can see directly the missing values. So that's what as a precaution per se, okay, we have to always convert this into a table. To convert that, usually we use a control T from our keyboard, okay, and convert this into a table. If in case you are a beginner, so let me just show you from here as well. In insert, you just have to simply click on this option called table, okay, click here table, and then my table has a header, and hit a OK button over here. The moment you press, you see this beautiful design has been applied over here. You can change this as per your own convenience, folks. It is not that you have to stick with the any one particular design, whatever is offered. You can select as per your own convenience, okay. And even if this branded rows are not really required, simply close this, okay. You see this blank color like this. You need a last column is highlighted like this, you can just turn that on. Or maybe the branded columns, you can see this branded columns like this. Cool. So I have converted this into a table now. Now what I'm going to call this my table, okay. So I'll just say attrition VBW. Perfect. So this is a table name for my overall data set. Now look over here in sheet 1, we have this kind of an entries, which is a difficult to identify what exactly data type, which particular data type flowing where, right? And now we have cleaned this data here. Isn't that great? You can simply rename that with HR underscore data. That's also fine. Whatever renaming you wish to do it, you can definitely go there and do it. If you add any new employees over here, okay, will the formula will break? Okay, the answer is no. We have converted this data into a table. Okay, so there is no chances to break any kind of formulas over here. Cool. You just have to simply select this entirely first, and then click on this option data, and then remove duplicate. Okay, so it's been automatically selected. These are the columns get selected. My table has a header, click here and then okay. So you see there are no duplicates value. Perfect. What I'm going to do over here is I'll just simply select this data validation list, and let's say yes and no, okay, and hit a OK button over here. You see this drop down. Okay, now the user can only select from the drop down whatever we have assigned from here. This prevents future mistakes, okay. No one can type maybe or double s, there can be a typo, or maybe no and then double o can be the typo, okay. So that typo would be a helpful for us. I'll give you the example since we don't have anything. I can see it over here. Let's say this, okay, married is the data. So you can use this function called upper, okay, and use this. So you can see your data has been capitalized automatically, okay. Or maybe you can use this proper function as well. Complete your call if in case your data is doesn't give you the accurate value, okay. Like this, for us its first letter is capital, okay, so it's good, okay. But if in case it's not working in your case, you can simply use upper or maybe the proper function for Excel. Now we build intelligence inside the Excel table. Let me add a new column over here. Okay, I'll call this as a attrition flag. Okay, this is a column for me, and here I'll say if is the condition, this is the attrition. Okay, right? So I'll call this as a is equal to yes. Perfect. And let 1 and then later will be a 0. So this is a simple formula I have added over here and hit a enter button over here. Cool. So this is what we have applied over here. Let me just make it centrally aligned like this. Perfect. This converts text into a numeric logic required for a pure tables and KPIs. Okay, now here I'm going to add a age group. Okay, so let's say age group over here. Perfect. Here I'm going to call if again, and this age group, which is this, right, less than 25. So I will call this as a under 25, comma, again nested if, which means if condition. Here we'll select this again, right, and here this time I will call this as a 34. Okay, less than equal to 34. So I'll just say this, comma, to 34, comma. Now likewise I'll apply the others as well. So that's what I'll just simply copy this first, all, copy this formula to save our time and paste it here, right? This time we're gonna add 44, and here I will call this as a 35. Let's say 44 again here, because this is a visible value for us, right? Comma again, and here we'll again add one more logic over here, right? So this logic decides what exactly the value we need to showcase over here. I'll just say 54 over here, and let's say 45 minus 54. Okay, this you can call this as a dash as well. That's completely fine. Now what we have did, we have did a 45 dash 54. Okay, here comma again, and let's add a 55 plus double inverted comma. Let's close this all. Cool. So this is a simple formula, which is nested if formula we have applied over here, right? The moment you done with this, simply hit a enter button over here. You see, this is a value what we are getting over here, right? Dashboard doesn't need a 40 different edges. Okay, it needs categories. Cool. Now here I'm going to add another column. Okay, so it could be salary band, right? So this is the salary band for me, and I'll say if condition over here. Okay, I'll go here in the salary section, which is, I'll just simply select this, which is the salary. Okay, and this, suppose this is less than 50,000. Okay, then I'll call this as a low. Cool. If again I'll paste if condition over here. Okay, this kind of a pop-up you will see always. Okay, so ensure that whatever you do initially, okay, just copy that simply. Okay, to avoid such sort of pop-ups from the Excel. So this, and then here we'll call this as a 70, but this time the criteria will be different. Okay, so this criteria will be like this. Okay, so this, and then here we'll be adding a medium, comma 70,000, comma here we'll be adding a medium. Perfect, comma, and at the end we're gonna add high, which is else condition. Perfect. So simply I have added this kind of a condition over here. Let me just check if we are following the correct steps over here. Cool. I'll just double verify over here. If condition, okay, salary is less than this, low. Okay, so low is this. Now you see this kind of an error I have observed over here. This double inverted comma we have missed to add over here. So let me just add that. Perfect. The moment I do, you can see this has been activated again. Perfect. Now it's been cleared and hit a enter button over here. Cool. You see this result. Now your medium looks weird right here because we have typed a very lower case. So we need a proper case here. Now you see medium is like this, low is like this, and this is high. Okay. Now who do you leaves more, low or high salary? We will prove it later. Okay. Now this is a satisfaction level we're gonna add over here. Okay, so this is again a optional, but if in case you want to add as a satisfaction level, you can add this as well, satisfaction level, like this. Okay, I will call this as a level, or let's say type full name. Okay, because it's a one-time activity, you don't have to do it later on again, so ensure that you will be typing a correct name full. Perfect. So here we're gonna add a satisfaction level. Okay, so satisfaction is lesser than equal to this comma, and then what is the value we're gonna showcase. So here, if it is true, then I will call this as a low. Okay, comma. Once again, what we have discussed earlier, you just have to simply copy this and paste it over here. Okay, to avoid any kind of a confusion. And let's say is equal to 3. Suppose this is equal to 3, then give me a result of medium, comma, here if it is not meeting to the low or maybe the medium, the result finally will be high. Okay, this is very simple and nested if I have utilized over here and hit a enter button over here. Perfect. So this is how I have got the satisfaction level here as well. Now so far we have added a this kind of a formulas. Okay, attrition flag, age group, okay, salary band, and satisfaction level, like this. It's time to add a KPIs. Okay, to add a inside the dashboard. Okay, so this is kind of a dashboard view for me. I'll call this as a dashboard, or maybe dashboard will use later. Okay, but for now I'm renaming this, call this as a dashboard. Okay, and here let's say this is equal to rows, and I'm gonna call this as a HR data and close this and hit a enter button. Okay, so this is a overall total employees for me. Okay, so I'll just say total employees. Cool. So once we add that, now I need a total attrition. Okay, so to do that, I will call this as a total attrition at the top, and let me add a total addition like this, some formula over here. And what is the table name? Table name is HR data. Okay, inside that what we have. Okay, so let me just add a this kind of a sign which help me to navigate inside the table. Okay, so this is a this sign. Okay, this kind of a box over here, you can see it over here, and then we'll say this as a attrition flag, close it, and simply hit a enter button over here. So total attrition is 20 for me. Now the active employees, how many active employees we have? So to do that, let me add a active employees. So simply what I'm going to do, I'll just say this divide by your total employees in cell, which is this, and hit a enter button, 0.5. Okay, and let me just convert this into a percentage like this. Perfect. So this is how I have added this. Now the average age. Let's go here and call this as a average age. Okay. Right now I'm just adding this, and then later on I think in the visualization we can add a new sheet, and there we can create that visualization part. Okay. So let me just add this as an average age, and here we'll call this as an average. What is the data name, which is HR data. This is my table. Okay. And let's say this as an age. Perfect. So this is the age. And once it is closed, let's add a column like this. This is the overall details I got over here. Okay. Sometimes your management need a 2 decimals. Okay. Sometimes they need a 1 decimal, or sometimes they don't really need that. Okay. So simply just go at the top, decrease decimal, or maybe the increase decimal. Simply click here and you will get a result like that. Okay. Now what we need a average job satisfaction. Okay. So to get that, let's say average job satisfaction. Perfect. So I have did this, and then let's say average this HR data. Okay. And here we need a job satisfaction. Cool. Close this and then enter. Okay. Again, you have to go at the top and decrease the decimal with 1. If in case, in your case, okay, attrition is 10, then total is 40. Okay. What is the attrition rate? It's a 25%. Okay. Now quick analysis. What I'm going to do over here is, since this is a calculative kind of a sheet, so I'm going to add a pivot table using this kind of a data, and adding that particular pivot table here, because I have the all the calculation over here. Okay. And I'll call this as a calculation sheet instead of dashboard. Okay. Dashboard we're gonna use here. So I'll just say dashboard. Let me rename this. Okay. This is a raw clean data. So just say clean data. It gives the overall glance what exactly it is and where are we. What we are going to do, we are going to add a pivot table. Let's say pivot table, and this existing worksheet, simply click here. Location is a calculation. So simply select this and hit a OK button over here. The moment you do, you will see this kind of a pivot table over here, right? Let's adjust this. Now I'm going to add a department in a rows like this. Okay. And the attrition flag, which is this in a this values section. You see this kind of a bifurcation we see. Okay. HR is 3, R&D is 8, sales are 9, like this. Okay. Now you see which department has a highest attrition. This is your first real insight. We haven't been built a dashboard yet. Okay. Now we have a structured Excel table, clean data, smart columns, KPI blocks, first pivot insights. Next, we will build a full HR dashboard inside the Excel using a charts, slicers, interactive elements. Okay. Layout like a professional data analyst. So far you see we haven't saved this workbook yet. Okay. It's very important to save this data whenever you work on the this kind of a critical information specific to insights driven. Okay. Because if it is lost, your work will not recover again. Okay. So that's what we are doing this analytics. Perfect. So I'll just save it. So here we are good with this HR, R&D and sales. Okay. So simply go at the top, insert, and then recommended chart. Here I can see these are the charts available. Okay. I'll just click on this option, and let's see what exactly the charts fit over here. Okay. So suppose I'll use this column, and then let me insert this kind of a chart over here, which is attrition flag for this particular chart. Perfect. This answers which department is losing people. I'll delete this and keep it here, paste it, okay, in the dashboard section. Again, I'll go here, I'll copy this first and paste it over here, okay, to get another view. Click on this pivot table analyze field list option. Okay, here we need a age group. This time I'll delete this, and we need this. Okay, and attrition flag as it is. So here I'm going to add a another chart. You can add a bar chart or maybe any other chart. It's completely your call. I'll just keep this as a clustered. Control X again. Go here and simply paste it. Okay. We will repair this later because just now added this error data levels. That's what is showing like this. Okay. And again, I'll go here. What exactly it's showing? It's showing a which age group is a most at risk. Okay. Now we need a job role specific. Again, I'll copy this and paste it over here. Go at the top, field list over here. Perfect. And we'll delete this. And here we'll check the job role. Job role is this. Perfect. Now what I'm going to add over here is I'll just see what exactly the view we can do over here. And here, suppose this kind of a proper view, if I get it, my visual representation looks fine. So that's what I'm using this horizontal bar chart. Okay. Uh, let's paste it over here. Okay. Later on we will fix it. Okay. For now we are just adding this. This is very powerful because it directly tells HR where is the problem. Okay. In which specific department. Now we need a education wise details. Simply copy this and paste it at the bottom. Go here, recommended chart, and then since we are talking about the education, okay, so we have to add that education over here, right? So this is the education field. Close this, and this is how you see data will look like. And here again, I'll go here, recommended chart, and this time also I'll keep this as a, and let's do a control X. Perfect. So we have these four charts available over here. Cool. What exactly we are getting out of it? Okay, it's a, does the education background impact any kind of an attrition? So that's what we are getting this insights through this. Now we need a gender distribution over here. Okay, so to get that, let's copy this and paste it over here. Again, go to the pivot table, analyze pivot table fields over here. Since we are talking about gender, let me just add a gender over here inside the rows section. And here we need a employee ID count. So this is the count overall, right? So it's a female and this. So this is a sum. So we don't need a sum as such. We need a count. Okay. So I'll just go here, view field setting, and here we need a count. Perfect. So this is how the overall data number will look like. And let's go here, insert, and click on this option, pie chart. Perfect. Let's do a control X from this. Again, go to the dashboard section and paste it this as well here. And let me just change this because the header we haven't changed this yet. Gender distribution gives workforce composition. Tells over here what exactly the title is and how we are using that attrition. Okay. And we will keep only one design for all, okay, because we'll follow the one simple template, which means you see here it's a capital letter, but here if I type here the first letter will be a capital and the rest of the others are small, so I don't want that particular formatting. We'll keep a simple formatting for all the chart. For the next, and here it's a department, here is a department, right? So we have the field, job field, job field attrition. Perfect. And then go at the bottom, close this, go at the bottom. Let's see what exactly it is. And it's a marketing, HR department, life science. Okay. So you see, again, it's a department only. Done. Perfect. Then renaming has been done, and this kind of views we have added so far. Now, what I need, okay, so I want to make this more visually appealing. So that's what I'm keeping these charts here. But for now, I'm using a new sheet altogether. And here, I'm going to add a color over here. Okay, so basically, this kind of a color code, I will be using this. Okay, and let's add a insert and go here, insert shape. Let me add this kind of a shape over here, which is this. Okay, and this will be my HR analytics VBW media dashboard. Okay, so I'm going to add this kind of text over here, and let me increase this size from perfect. And you can select this, make it bold, change the color if really needed. Okay, or maybe later on you can simply change that as per your own need. Okay, so here we are seeing this kind of a color code over here. Let's select this, decrease the size and keep it like this. Perfect. So this is how my overall headers I have added over here. Now what I need a couple of KPIs to be shown over here. We already added the calculation over here and the views as well. We just have to design this particular part over here, right? So again, I'll just insert a one more illustration, which is this. Okay, and here we have kept it like this. And what I'm going to add over here is I'll just add a press Windows and then dot. Okay, and here let's say like, and add this as a logo. Okay, if in case it is not available in your case, okay, no need to worry, you can delete this as well. That's completely fine. Delete it. Let's go here and then illustration icons. Okay, and let's see if we get it through the icons. I have typed as a hand over here and select this. Okay, or maybe you can add this, complete your call, which one you need this. I'll insert a both first and I'll see what exactly it looks. Perfect. And I'll delete this because it's not really required. And here we'll give this as a white color. Okay, now if you feel the pattern over here, okay, the pattern is basically we are keeping a very blue shade and the white theme. Okay, here you can change that theme later on. I'll show you that part as well, but right now we're just adding this, whatever we feel that we can do that, right? So simply add that. And here text, job satisfaction rating. Okay, let's say rating. Perfect. Let's say bold, move here, decrease the size, centrally align, and keep it here. Okay, if it is too low, okay, with a small, increase this simply. It's complete your creativity, folks, how you want to showcase this to the leadership. Okay, so I'll just increase this and this as well. Just quickly adjust this. Yeah, so we have adjusted this and then simply, so if you go here in the calculation, you see this job satisfaction, which is 3. Okay, which means you can add a normal stars over here, right? So here I'll go again illustration and suppose adding it this kind of a stars over here. So it is visually appealing. That's what we are doing this, nothing else. Copy this, paste, perfect. And perfect. So I have adjusted this. Now, since we are talking about this is 3 rating, so simply select this, go here and add a 3 star like this. Perfect. These are the 3 stars you see over here. Average job satisfaction. Okay, and you can mention that at the top, it's a average job satisfaction. Job satisfaction. Perfect. So once it is done, let's move this at the top and keep it over here. Make it bold. Okay, once it is done, the top headers we have adjusted. Okay, the job satisfaction just now we pulled. Okay, so here what I'm going to do, I'll just select this and make it as a bold. Okay, because this is my type of work. Okay, whenever I complete one KPI showcased in my this particular dashboard, that time I ensure I make it as a bold. It's a bookmark for me to ensure that this has been covered. Okay, cool. So now what we need a total employees. Okay, so to get a total employees over here, what I'm going to do over here is I'll just go here again, and then this time I will add this rounded rectangle corners. Okay, simply add this and keep it like this. Perfect. And what exactly it is? You said it's a total employees, right? So it's a total employees, so we have to add that somewhere, right? So simply click here and let's call this as a total employees, right? And this is my total employees. I'll click on this and keep it over here. Perfect. So select this again, make it bold and add white color so it is visible for all. Hit that value, simply select this, double click over here, is equal to, okay, calculation and total employees is this. Okay, simply select that, ensure that you are freezing this. Okay, function key and F4 and hit a enter button over here. Select this, keep it down. Okay, centrally align and increase the size and make it bold and add a size like this. Cool. So this is your total employees like this. Now here we always have to add some sort of icons. Okay, in dashboard it's very important to add a icons to make it visually available for the users and they can take it some sort of information out of it, right? So that's what I'm keeping this like this. Okay, and then here will ensure this shape format will be bit different color. Okay, so let me just select this appropriate color over here. This is the moderate effect. I'll just simply select any one of us. I'll select this total employees, copy this and paste it. I'll select this and keep it over here. Okay, and later on I'll add the icons as well since we have spoke. Okay, I'll select this and this time I'll select this kind of a color over here. Perfect. And what we need a different KPI over here, right? So this time the total attrition, right? So this is the attrition, right? So to get the attrition here, what we have to do again, let's delete this, select calculation again, and this time total attrition. Once again, function key F4, hit a enter button over here. Okay, centrally align, increase the size. Perfect. So what is the size for this? This is a 24. So ensure that we are applying a standard size for all. Okay, so 24. And this is a total attrition, copy and paste it here. Total attrition. And since we need this in bold, let's do it bold and make it a font white. Okay, now the next step, what we need a active employees. Okay, but before I move to active employees, let me give you the explanation over here. Okay, you see at the top, this has been very longer, right? And we can adjust those. Here I can adjust it like this, and even this as well I can adjust it, right? So our entire whatever view we are creating, right, will be in shift once again, make it group. Okay, if possible. For now I'm not creating a group, but yeah, if it's possible for you, let's select that and create a group. And I'm adjusting the top headers here like this, even this as well. Select this group. Okay, so let's adjust it properly, slightly move this. Because this will save our space. Okay, whatever space we are utilizing for the next views, that's what we are doing this. Perfect. So once it is done, what I'm going to do, I'll just copy this again and paste it next here. And what we have next is that active employees. So this is one of the important step, right? So we got this kind of a percentages over here. So these are the active employees. So total active, I will call this as a total active. Perfect. And this time I'll change this color code, okay, to green, or maybe something else which is suits here. Okay, and here you can directly change the location as well. Let's say if F2 will be take here. Okay, I'll go here F2, simply type that because your range is available there, right? So it is there, and then perfect, and keep it a white. Once it is done, now what I need a attrition rate. Okay, this is one of the important parameter for the leaders. They always check with this. That's what we need, this attrition rate over here. Okay, and let's say attrition rate, and I think we have already calculated that, right? If you carefully observe over here, this total active is basically your active employee. Okay, so the naming we have misplaced over here, so it's a attrition rate. Now this total active, since there is a confusion, right? If total attrition is 20, we are doing a divide by 40. Okay, so we are getting a attrition rate like this. Okay, here since we need a active total active employees, so again if we calculate that as well, we are getting a 50 numbers over here. However, the calculation mechanism is completely different. Okay, so we have to manually type here as a number instead of a formula. Okay, the reason behind is we have a total active employee is 20 instead of I have to delete that, and here it's a attrition rate. So here we have to ensure that we are calling this as a attrition rate. And since we need a total active employee, now insert a new shape from here. Okay, let's insert a new shape from here, keep it over here. These are your total active. Okay, copy this and paste it over here. Call this as a total active employee. Okay, how many? The count is 20 because you are already 20 has been gone, right? Those are attrited, so that's what we are not using those here. Just keep it like this, total active employee, and here we'll add a number. Okay, so number will be 20. Let's go at the top, keep it down, centrally align, increase the size, make it bold, increase the size. Perfect. So this is my total active, you see, and these are my attrition rate. And this is very important for the leadership to see the attrition rate, right? So accordingly they can take a decision for the businesses. And here we'll go here shape, and this time we'll keep this as a color code. Perfect. Let me adjust this. Perfect. And at the end, average age. Okay, if in case you want to see the age as well, one more element, copy this, paste it, just this, and we'll call this as a average age. Centrally align. The average is this calculation. If you go here, 35.4. Centrally align, increase the size, 24, make it bold, and text will be white as always. Perfect. So once it is done, I'll keep it like this. And then what we need a different shape altogether, right? So I'll just go here and keep it a different shape over here, and we'll ensure that we'll adjust this and this border I really don't require, so that's what I remove this borders from here. So far we have built a headers, okay, job satisfaction rating, average satisfaction score, and this is how the dashboard will look for us. Now since we have the views available over here, what I'm going to do, I'll just add a each view there, right? Let's do a control X from this and paste it here. Okay, again this as well, control X and this. Okay, and I'll call this as a charts, but it's not really required because we already pasted there, right? I'll delete this and we'll call this as a dashboard to avoid more confusion. And let me just adjust this. Perfect. So I'm just adjusting this, and as and when I need to change this and make it more visually appealing, I can get that done. Okay, perfect. So this is what I have moved over here. So what I feel, okay, so total employee by gender, which is this, I'll call this as a right click over here and hide all column fields. Here we'll call this as a total employees by gender. Go change it. What we have to do, let's go here, design, change chart type, and add a column first. Cool. Once you good with it, let's go at the top, illustration, and here icon section, let's add a male and female. Okay, and here let's say male. Cool, and I'll call this as a female. Perfect. So two entries I have added over here and hit a insert button over here. The moment you do what you have to do, let's do a control X, paste it. Okay, likewise copy this, or maybe do a control X, simple, double click over here, paste it. Cool, and you go here, insert on this chart elements, click on this option, keep it vertical. Okay, remove this, it's not really required. Turn on this data labels, and here since this is a view, we can see it over here. What I'm going to do, I'll keep it at the top, okay, because it's visually nice. Okay, so I'll just go at the top, and this one I'll move this chart, I'll move it at the top, I'll keep it like this. Perfect, and ensure that this headers are bold. Okay, even this bottom one, I don't really require this, I'll delete this as well. Cool, just right click over here, format data label series, you can increase, okay, or maybe keep it like this, so increase the size of this. Okay, so this is how you can keep it this entire view for now, and close this. Cool, so one specific view we have added over here. Now we need a education wise attrition. Okay, so suppose if in case education wise attrition is not there, what I'm going to do, I'll add that. So I'll just double check over here if in case I have it already. I'll go here, education. Okay, so education wise we haven't added that view, so to get that added, what we have to do, we have to create a pivot table again. Okay, so I'll go here again, copy this and paste it at the bottom. Okay, here I'm going to add field list, and let's add a education over here. Perfect, and then these are the overall attrition flag for me. Recommended chart, and here bar chart like this, insert it, escape, and then do a control X from this, and let's move it here, paste it. Perfect, you see, so we have added a education wise details over here. Right click over here, hide all, delete this as well, not really required. And this one, go in grid line and click on this option, primary measure horizontal, remove this vertical. Okay, what is the title? So title is basically, double click over here again, let's say education wise attrition. Good. So this is how I have made it and make it bold. Perfect. Let's go here and then make it a data label on here. Now you see this master is heavy, right? So right click over here, sort by largest to smallest. Okay, this is how the smallest will be at the top and the largest at the bottom. Right click again, click on this option. Okay, smallest to largest. You see now the largest one, whatever is there, it's on top. Cool. So this is how you can make a sorting in your charts as well. Again, right click over here, format data label series if in case you want, decrease it, and this is how it looks for you. Perfect. Education wise details we have added over here. Now I want a attrition by job role. Okay, so job role is basically we have added, I believe. Okay, so I'll just see if I have it already. Job role, I'll go here again, check it, job role. Okay, so job role is basically your sales executive, research scientist, HR manager. Okay, so here this, right, so this is a job role. Cool. So I'll just go here, format and bring forward because it's getting hide over here, right? So let's say entire view. Okay, I'll go here, design, change chart type. I'll see if I can add any different view here, right? So to get that added, I'm going to add another pie chart. Okay, so this is the pie chart. I'm going to add, simply select this and hit a OK button over here. Perfect. So this is the overall look for me. Right click over here, hide all, and this time I'm not gonna keep this here, delete it and adjust this. Go here, data label, and here just keep this outside and data call out like this. Okay, and make this as a bold. So that's what we are keeping this as a like this. Perfect. So this is how we have added a total employees gender, okay, education wise details and job field attrition over here. Okay, later on we can increase this. For now I'm just adjusting this as it is. Perfect. So let's make it group first. Group, this one also a group. Grouping is very important at the time of movement of this specific shape. Okay, it's really important to create a grouping for the specific KPIs. Okay folks, remember that. Great. So I have adjusted this. Cool. So we have created this many views so far. Now what we need a department wise attrition over here. Okay, so since we are using a department wise this, so what I need a different chart here. We'll change this chart, and this time again I'll go here pie chart, and this time I'll add a this donut chart. I'll add this as a donut chart over here. I'll go here again, data labels, data callouts will be like this, and I'll delete this because it's creating a unnecessary space for me. Right click over here, hide all, and we'll move this and keep it over here. Perfect. This is how I have added a department wise attrition over here. Now if in case you want to see the age wise as well, we can showcase that as well. Let me just adjust this first. Perfect. So age wise is this. So to arrange this, I will add this. Perfect. Okay, since this is a groupism kind of thing, right? So 25 to 24, we can keep this. Otherwise, if in case you want to change this, okay, this one, I will first move this to somewhere else. Okay, with this pivot table, okay, and I'll change this age group to age. So my number, if you see over here, okay, will look like this. Go here, pivot table fields, and then remove this, add your age group here, and you see that visual has been come back again. Cool. This is how beautifully this option works. Okay, even if in case you don't have that kind of an option, okay, where you create this kind of fields, there is an option to create a group. You can create the group as well. Okay, we can showcase you in the upcoming video. That's completely fine. I'll delete this, delete, right click over here, and then decrease this as well. Perfect. And here again turn on this data labels. It's very important, data labels. Okay, without data labels you can't see what exactly the data is and what is the meaning of that particular view or maybe the section. Cool. So now we need a marital status if really needed. Okay, according to me it's not really required though. So if in case you want to add a marital status over here, you can definitely add that. I don't really require this. Okay, department wise it's okay. Department wise attrition I can see it over here. I'll go here, since we have the space available. I'll copy this, okay, and paste it over here. Since we talk about marriage, okay, so let's go here. Marriage, how many people have um, marital status? Okay, so I'll just go here, marital status kind of thing, and these are the statuses for me. Perfect. And here we're gonna add any different chart altogether. Okay, so if in case you want to add any different chart, you can get that done. I'll just simply click this 3D clustered and do a control X from here and paste it. Perfect. Okay, delete this, right click over here, hide all, delete this as well, turn on the data labels. Okay, and what is exactly, so what is the view? So view is basically attrition by marital status. Okay, let's see if in case this view, okay, this particular view need any different chart, we can check that as well. Okay, if in case there is an option to add a funnel chart kind of thing, okay, we can do that as well. Okay, if I change this any kind of a view I have added over here, suppose this in this field list I have added a two more categories over here like education, okay, or maybe the salary here, right, and I want a different view here. Close this. Okay, and if I go here, change chart type, I got a multiple options available now. Okay, meaning if I select this and click over here and increase this, you see divorce this many salary, okay, married this many salary, and these are the fields, and single is this many. Cool. This is how the analysis works, folks. Okay, it's not that just creating a chart, it's not like that. Okay, whatever chart you have available, and if you add n numbers of fields there to analyze that data for the specific column category, you can add that and change the chart which is available, okay, inside this. Okay, you can see this histograms, waterfall, this kind of an n numbers of charts over here, right? So change this. Now now the question remains the same. Okay, if I want to make this more dynamic, how I can make that? Okay, it's a very simple and natural question. Okay, we always hear back that from the leaders or maybe the stakeholders. Okay, how to do that? It's very simple. Let me just show you. Okay, first adjusting this. Cool. What you can do over here is, let's go here first. Okay, while you insert a this kind of a slicer, suppose you inserted a slicer over here, it's kind of an education field, okay, and department. Suppose this is a department, these two fields I have added over here, but ensure that this report connections, whenever you turn this on, you have to just go here and turn this entire options on. Without that it will not work. Simply turn that on. Okay, likewise let's go here, turn that on, check on report connections. Perfect. And once it is done, hit a OK button. Let's do a control X from here and paste it at the bottom like this. Perfect. So you can adjust these buttons as per your own convenience, folks. Cool. Now the story begins over here, right? Now you see this has been added like this. Perfect. Now I want to see only for R&D department. You see this data set, okay? It's been automatically get filterized. If I want to see only for sales, I can see this is been changing over here, right? Likewise, if I want to see only for the life and science, I can see that data. Okay, isn't that beautiful? This is what we can use a slicers, and we can change with the data. If in case you're not happy with this kind of a color coding, okay, and the boss says that no, it's not going up to the theme, whatever theme we require, no need to worry. At the top page layout, there is an option called themes. Okay, so you can just go here and check any n numbers of themes over here. Okay, simply select that and apply that your particular dashboard, and at one simple click you can create your dynamic dashboard without hassle. Okay, only the first step is critical: how you calculate, how you clean the data, how you measure it, and what type of insights you need. Okay, later on it's just a easy peasy job. You can see it on the screen, right? This kind of a dashboard you have built it your own, okay, inside the Excel. And if in case you want to build this similar kind of a view inside the Power BI, you can do that as well. Okay, or maybe if in case you just want to change the color code of this, you can simply change this color. Okay, isn't that great? Okay, at one simple click you just have to simply amazing dashboards is getting prepped over here, right? All right, take a step back and look at what we have just built. Okay, from scratch, no shortcuts, no downloads. We created a complete HR analytics foundation dashboard. We started with a business problem, we designed the data, we built the data set, and now we are already seeing insights. This is how real analysts work. Look at this dashboard: total employees clearly defined, okay, attrition identified, active employees calculated correctly, attrition rate giving us the real picture, age, average age, and job satisfaction adding a depth. Not just that, we broke attrition down by department, job role, education, age group, and gender, marital status. This is no longer data, this is a decision intelligence. Now ask yourself, if you were a manager at VVW Media, would you ignore this dashboard? The answer is no, because this tells you where people are living, who is at risk, and now where action is needed. I hope you enjoyed this entire series. Don't forget to subscribe us. Thanks for watching. Have a great day ahead.